Welcome to the Quilting Bee. Some of you just are talking about quilting, and there are a couple of subjects that are shared by several about whether to quilt on a frame or not. Tina Johnson, you love lap quilting. That's great. I've tried lap quilting. You wonder, why do I like quilting on a frame? Well, it's all here and it's not going anywhere. I don't have to reposition things, and I can step back and I can see a little more. I'm just used to it. I've tried lap quilting, but I felt the same thing many of you felt. What about the tension? How do you keep an even tension? That's not easy, of course. Here's how the CD women do it. She's sitting on the floor. The quilt is under her right thigh, and on her left side, her foot is holding it down very tightly, and she's making tension. How can you show your hand quilting? Put it here. Bring it to the Quilting Bee. You can attach pictures, I think, to this. Do you have a page? Put it on your page. Go in front of your house and put some quilts up. The thread I use is quilting thread. I'm not picky. But depending on what I'm doing, I use different things. Sometimes I'll use pearl cotton, number 8, for color. I don't think of thread when I'm doing this kind of quilting. I just keep it easy to work with. On the kawandis, it's a different matter. You can't use quilting thread, or I can't, on a kawandi. So I use a 3-ply soft cotton thread that I get from India. But that fluctuates too. What are my traditional holiday foods, nationality traditions, etc.? It's all, so far as the food goes, it's spelled WASP. That's the kind of family I grew up in. And I never tasted a green pea till I was in my 20s. Well, no, it must have happened when I left home, 18. Canned peas. We never had frozen vegetables. Canned peas, those mushy little gray things. Anyway, I could go on with all the negative things, but the traditions, the biggest tradition was my dad's plum pudding. This was begun in June, usually, for the following year. So it lasted for a year and a half before we tasted it. It was unbelievable. It was a dream with hard sauce always. It was every imaginable dried fruit you can think of, and nuts. And I think for a batch of maybe like a 3-quart size batch, there was 1 tablespoon of flour. it was unctuous and dark, and I've never had anything even of that consistency. So that's the one tradition that's the most vivid. Nationality traditions, we don't have them. Not much. Not like other countries. We got cheated in that regard a lot, I think. Credenza's asking, does Bach ever appear in any of my works? When you look at Bach, listen to Bach, I mean, he was the master of mathematic detail, but you never hear it. I mean, you don't have to hear it, because whatever the expression was, the message in the music, it did not depend on the structure. Curved triangles may be the most Bach-like of any of my quilts, in that the arrangement of a mathematic figure in a very precise way is done in such a way that you see, hear things that aren't even there. Maybe you could say the same of the Ocean Waves quilt that just appeared on my page. There's only a couple of sizes of pieces in there, but they're being used to create something different.